So I believe many of you have tried generating content with ChatGPT or Gemini, and you might have noticed that even when using the same prompt, the output is a little different each time. In real business applications, what we actually want is for the design to be stable. For example, the brand Mannings has its own specific orange color and its own font. So in this video, I'm going to share how to achieve that. By combining with an AI agent, you can build a skill that designs these product images and publishes them directly to your Facebook page. Let me give you a hypothetical example. Suppose this online store has a lot of products, and for different holidays like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Double 11, Christmas, and so on, they need to create Facebook posts for promotion. In this scenario, the user only needs to provide the product link from their online store, and then this AI agent will turn it into the Facebook post you see on the screen right now. Once you approve it, it will automatically be published to Facebook and Instagram. Here, let's say I've created a mascot for them. For example, a long time ago, Mannings had its own mascot, which was a cat. In this case, I'm using this dog as an example. You can imagine that in the past, without AI tools, you would have to find someone to dress up as this mascot, and then you'd have to set up lighting and take photos. But now, with AI tools, we can generate this image very quickly. However, we still want to maintain the overall design style. For example, the border design here. Every post needs to look the same, meaning we have to achieve brand consistency. The font here is the same. For instance, the first line must display the brand, and the second line should show the product name. The real price of the product needs to be placed in the bottom left corner, and so on. So in this workflow, is the image in the middle generated, and this frame on the outside, including the text at the top, is created using code. So each time it outputs, it will be very consistent. Of course, you could also ask AI to directly generate this text and logo, but if you use code to do it, the output will be even more stable. Actually, this example is from an award-winning application I made last year for the Agendate AI Challenge organized by IAB. At that time, I used N by N and Nano Banana Pro. In this example, you just need to call the AI agent tool with the built-in Nano Banana or the latest image model, GPT-image 2 from GPT. In Show Computer, both of these new image models are also built in. You just need to type and tell it which one you want to use. So the process goes like this. You just need to upload your online store products and hand them over to this AI agent. You just need to paste the link and then use this skill. So, what is this skill? It's called Mannings Musco Poster. Let's open it up and take a look. What exactly is the workflow of this skill? Actually, it's very simple. The first step is to go to the webpage I provided to check the product information and download the product image. Then, you need to place the product image onto the mascot. Now, you might ask, what if you just type and tell it that the mascot is a dog? But there are many breeds of dogs, right? So how can you make sure that the mascot is always the same dog every time? To maintain consistency. Actually, the principle is very simple. You just need to provide a reference image within the skill, and that's it. Many people don't know this, but actually, besides just putting in text, what else can you do with a skill? You can also choose to include various photos. For example, within the specific skills folder, there is a dedicated folder called Asset. Inside of this particular folder, I've included a high-quality picture of my mascot. And to make its final output even more consistent and reliable, I also provide several detailed sample outputs for your reference. For example, there's this one of Body Wash, this bottle of white wine, and this is a mask. So when it downloads these photos, it will send them along with the reference images I provided to both Nano Banana and GPT-image 2 to generate images. My approach is to ask it to provide two options for me to choose from, whether the Nano Banana version is better or the GPT-image 1 is better. At this point, my approval is required. Once I make my choice, when I select the photo I want, it will then use code to add the frame I mentioned earlier, along with text, price, and so on. After that, it will write the Facebook post copy. At this stage, I need to approve it a second time. Only after I give my approval can it actually publish the post to Facebook. In fact, this process is pretty similar to how you usually communicate with a designer. Of course, this workflow is just a demonstration. Everyone's design process is different. But my own suggestion is, before you post to Facebook or Instagram or other social accounts, it still needs to be approved by a human. Now that we understand the whole workflow of this skill, let's take a look at how it actually works. After I provided the link and referenced this skill, it went into the website and successfully pulled out the product information. For example, for this product, the original price is $329, but now if you buy two, it's $598. Let me go back to the website now. That's right, the information is correct. Next, it uses the reference image I provided to generally generate this photo. My requirement was that the mascot should be holding this product. It will use two different models to compare here, and it outputs a comparison image. Option A is Nano Banana, and option B is GPT-image. Whether it's good looking or not is very subjective. Which one do you think looks better? Feel free to leave a comment below and let me know. When I looked at it seriously myself, actually, this time, Nano Banana did a better job because I noticed that on this product, the label on top stands out. But when I looked closely at option B, you'll see that its label doesn't stand out at all. So let's not even talk about which one looks better. For accuracy, this time Nano Banana is better. So here I typed and told it option A. The next step is to use this image. Then, using code, I overlay a box on the outside. That box includes the product name, and in the lower left corner, it will show the price of the product. So now it has already overlaid that box. I double check to make sure the price is correct. My product is $329 and buying two is $598. The information is accurate. Also, it provides the copy for the Facebook post for me. Let me share a small detail here. Normally, when you ask an AI agent to do something, it can directly output this Facebook copy right here in the conversation. At this point, I asked it to put that Facebook copy into this document because the essence of So Computer is actually a bit different from other tools. So Computer is really a computer itself. Imagine it as a Google Drive. When you click on the files on the left, you can actually see all the files on your cloud computer. So what's special about this? So when I ask it to put the copy into this document, if there's anything I'm not satisfied with, I can directly edit it in this file. For example, 329. I think there's no need to show the 0.00, right? Of course, you could type and tell it, hey, remove the 0.00, but sometimes it's actually faster to just go in and change it yourself. So here, I'll just remove it directly because this is a text file that I've put on this cloud computer. So what kind of product is this? It shows as made in Hong Kong. Well, I don't need this line, so I'll just delete it directly. And what about this hashtag test below? Actually, in my skills, I did ask it to do that. Of course, you can add your own brand's hashtag. After you've finished editing, you just tell it post now. Now, it will publish this post to my Facebook page. Of course, I'll delete it later. Actually, this use case will also be something I'll be sharing tomorrow at an event in Singapore. The tool I just used, Show Computer, they've come to Singapore. Because they watched my YouTube video, they invited me to share. Tomorrow night's event has a really interesting name. It's called Cue Your SaaS, which means using Show Computer to replace some of those subscription tools you're currently paying for. So tomorrow, I'll be using this topic to talk about replacing Canva, because in the past, when we need to design posters or Facebook posts, we usually use Canva. But just now, my workflow was done entirely within Show Computer. What's great is that they've given us $100 in credits. With these 100 credits, not only can you use them to choose different paid models, such as German 3.1 Pro, OPS 4.7, and so on, but you can also use these credits to generate images. If you use the $100 in credits purely for generating images, you could probably create several hundred or even 1,000 images. If you haven't registered for a Show Computer account before, just click the link below the video to sign up for an account. If you've already registered for a Show Computer account, go to Settings, click on Billing, and in the Redeem Coupon Code section, enter SHEK18 and click Redeem. Then you'll be able to get the 100 credits. US dollar credits. Please note that it's first come, first served. If this coupon code has expired, please don't mind. We will have a workshop in both May and June. Coming up next week, there will be an invite coding workshop. To join this course, you don't need to have an IT background, but it's recommended that you use a computer in your daily work. Additionally, on June 13th, there will be a Manos AI Agent one-day workshop. During our practice, we'll mainly use Manos, but actually, once you understand the underlying principles, you can use your own computer or a company computer. Either is fine. The most important thing is that through this course, you'll understand the core concepts, the underlying principles, and real-world application scenarios. If you want to learn more about the course content, feel free to click the link below the video. See you in the next video.